2025 Polestar 4 is a sleek, rear-windowless electric spaceship. Trading its rear windshield for extra headroom and a digital rearview mirror is just one of the electric Polestar 4 SUV's technological tricks. The first thing that stands out about the 2025 Polestar 4 is actually what's missing: a rear window. The absence of glass isn't just a slick styling cue. Polestar says it opens up more headroom despite the 4's trendy and aerodynamically beneficial sloping roofline. But the Polestar 4 is more than just its unorthodox glassless rear end, proving to be quick and smooth on the winding roads outside Madrid, with a comfortable, high-tech interior to boot. While not quite as dynamically polished as its big brother, the Polestar 3, the 4's more attractive starting price offsets its minor flaws.
There are two powertrains available in the Polestar 4, with the base setup single 268 horsepower motor spinning the rear wheels and sending the SUV from 0 to 62 miles per hour in a claimed 7.1 seconds. The dual-motor, all-wheel drive arrangement adds an electric motor up front and produces 536 horsepower and 506 pound-feet of torque. Adaptive dampers come along for the ride, too. The dual-motor Polestar 4 we drove was equipped with the Performance package, adding 22-inch forged wheels, aluminum 4-piston Brembo brake calipers, and more serious Pirelli P0 summer rubber. The Performance pack also injects visual pizzazz with gold seatbelts and valve stem caps.
The dual-motor 4 is both rapid and fairly nimble, with Polestar claiming a 3.8-second sprint to 62 miles per hour, which would make the 4 the quickest Polestar yet. In its softest setting, the ride felt silky smooth, and while the adaptive damper's firmest mode introduced some bumps into cabin, it mitigated body roll and still rounded out the jolts enough so as to be not intrusive. Madrid's roads were in far better shape than Michigan's pockmarked pavement, however, so we look forward to testing the 4 on home soil. But the best part of all, unlike the Polestar 1 and 2's immensely capable yet immensely difficult to adjust Öhlins dampers, you adjust the 4's suspension through the infotainment display.
While the 4 is punchy and feels reasonably planted in corners, the controls, steering wheel, accelerator, and brake pedal, feel distant. Briskly driving the 4 produces no drama, but it also elicits no emotion. While the pricier Polestar 3 won't rival a Subaru BRZ for steering feel, its torque-vectoring rear differential separates it from the 4 with more engaging handling. The 4's brakes feel strong but aloof, and the initial bite can be grabby at lower speeds.
All Polestar 4s utilize the same 94.0 kilowatt-hour battery, which Polestar claims yields up to 300 miles of range. The dual-motor setup should knock that down to around 270 miles, but it'll be some time before the EPA weighs in. A 400-volt electrical architecture helps the 4 slurp up to 200 kilowatts from a DC fast charger, enough to take the battery from 10 to 80% in 30 minutes, Polestar says. All 4s also have a heat pump to improve efficiency and charging speeds in cold climates. The regenerative braking offers 3 levels of adjustment, and a creep function lets you inch forward in traffic while keeping the highest regen setting activated.
Since the Polestar 4 eschews a back window, the rearward view arrives solely via a roof-mounted camera and digital mirror. Those who have used digital rear-view mirrors before shouldn't have any issues, but for the less technologically proficient, the digital mirror may require some adjustment since it's harder to get a realistic sense of depth from the screen. Although we didn't mind the setup, it ultimately felt like Polestar is solving a problem that doesn't really exist. The headroom improvements seem minimal, and the top of this 5'11" author's hair still brushed the headliner. The field of view is definitely wider than with a traditional mirror, and the view angles 4 degrees left or right when the turn signal is on and tilts slightly down when reversing, but the benefit isn't quite as revolutionary as Polestar suggests. Still, the display is clear and minimizes the flicker from LED headlights behind. Look down from the digital display and you'll find a cabin that is minimalist but not bare, exuding a quiet, understated luxury. The seats are firm but supportive. Soft-touch materials abound, and they mostly feel high quality, although the sportswear-inspired weave made from recycled plastic bottles definitely felt more, well, plasticky than luxurious. Luckily, other upholstery options are available.
The extra headroom afforded by the missing rear window let Polestar shift the rear seats a bit farther back, and thus legroom is plentiful. The dashboard is dominated by a 15.4-inch horizontally oriented touchscreen running Polestar's latest Google-based infotainment system. The interface is crisp and easy to read thanks to bold fonts and contrasting colors. The well-organized display is customizable. A split-screen function shows multiple applications at once, and the 4 can store up to 6 different driver profiles to save preferred settings. However, the digital buttons could be a tad larger. We found it tricky to consistently press the right spot while driving, and nearly every function is controlled through that screen. The 4 separates itself from the more sophisticated Polestar 3 with fun celestial-themed graphics for each different ambient lighting color.
We also experienced the Pilot Pack, which adds a suite of radar, ultrasonic sensors, and cameras. These parts work together to control the pilot assist system that can steer, adjust the forest speed, and execute lane changes. As in the Polestar 3, we came away impressed with Pilot Assist, but found the lane-keeping aid to be overly proactive, although Spain's narrow lanes might be the real culprit there.
The Polestar 4 will take up arms against the upcoming Porsche Macan EV and Audi Q6 e-tron, as well as shoppers considering the cheaper Tesla Model Y. While the Polestar 4 has its work cut out against machines from more established brands when it arrives later this year, the bigger challenge, at least initially, will be its assembly. The Polestar 4 is being built in China before US-bound production shifts to South Korea in 2025, which means any early models destined for the States will come slathered in sticker-swelling tariffs. Even after production shifts to Korea, the 4's batteries will still be sourced from China, keeping matters nice and complicated, just how consumers like it.
Before taking any future tariffs into account, the Polestar 4 will undercut its pricier German rivals with the single-motor variant starting at $56,300 and the dual-motor version opening at $64,300. While not exactly cheap, the Polestar 4 provides a whole lot for the price. Streamlined looks, a high-tech and well-appointed cabin, and decent, if a bit boring, driving dynamics make the Polestar 4 an attractive package, as long as you can handle that missing glass.
MSRP $57,800 to $74,300. Highs: perky acceleration, spacious cabin, pleasant interior design. Lows: lack of rear glass takes getting used to. Big blind spots, all-wheel drive models' range is shorter than equivalent Polestar 3's. Verdict: the Polestar 4's stylish coupe-like roofline gives it extra curb appeal, but it's not as practical as its boxier sibling.
Specs: EPA estimated range 270 to 300 miles. Seating: 5 seats. Powertrain: electric. Drivetrain: all-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive. Limited warranty: 4 years, 50,000 miles.
Overview. With a coupe-like silhouette, the 2026 Polestar 4 is a sleeker and sportier-looking version of the Polestar 3 SUV. The 4 has a sloped rear end like many coupe-ish SUVs and wears a different tail lamp design than the 3. But the most interesting difference is that the 4 does not feature a rear window, opting instead for a digital rearview mirror. Although it seems like this would create an epic blind spot, we barely registered that the rear glass was missing when we drove the 4 in Europe. Both 268 horsepower single and 536 horsepower dual-motor powertrains are offered, with the more powerful configuration able to shoot the Polestar 4 to 60 miles per hour in a CD-estimated 3.5 seconds. The driving range of the rear motor-only model is 300 miles per charge, which is enough to challenge popular EV rivals such as the Audi Q8 e-tron and the Tesla Model Y.
Overview. What's new for 2026? The Polestar 4 will be an all-new model for the growing EV brand. It's expected to go into production for the 2025 model year. Pricing and which one to buy. The price of the 2026 Polestar 4 starts at $57,800 and goes up to $74,300 depending on the trim and options. Single motor. $57,800. Dual motor, $64,300. Dual motor performance, $74,300.
While it's hard to resist the pull of the more powerful dual-motor powertrain, we suspect the extra range offered by the single-motor model is more attractive to most EV buyers. Luckily, in our experience, the 268 horsepower electric motor in the base model still delivers satisfying acceleration, so we can recommend it in good conscience. We would add the Pilot and Plus packages, which combine to outfit the Polestar 4 with a ton of goodies. The Pilot package adds an adaptive cruise control with a lane centering feature, while the Plus package brings a Harman Kardon stereo system, a head-up display, backlit textile interior trim, a hands-free power rear liftgate, a heated steering wheel, 12-way power adjustable front seats, power reclining rear seats with heat, 3-zone automatic climate control, and an air purifier.
EV motor, power, and performance. While the entry-level setup is a single 268 horsepower electric motor driving the rear wheels, the dual-motor Polestar 4 offers all-wheel drive and 536 ponies. An adaptive suspension system is standard with the dual-motor powertrain, but the single-motor model comes with a more conventional passive damper suspension system. We drove both models and came away impressed, though we felt the 4 is missing some of the driving engagement of its Polestar 3 sibling. The single-motor powertrain, which we drove in prototype form, is no slouch when it comes to acceleration, and its suspension tuning nicely straddles the line between comfort and sport. The dual-motor model we drove is the athlete, though, especially with its dampers set to their firmest setting. If you want a more comfortable ride, the softer setting delivers just that, erasing most bumps in the road without wallowing.
0 to 60 miles per hour times. While we estimate that the single-motor model will need 6.5 seconds to hit 60 miles per hour, the dual-motor model will offer much quicker acceleration numbers. We think it's possible the more powerful version could hit 60 miles per hour in as little as 3.5 seconds. When we get a chance, we'll take the Polestar 4 to our test track and update the story with instrumented test results.
Range, charging, and battery life. According to the EPA, the Polestar 4 will travel 300 miles per charge with the single-motor setup. The dual-motor model, meanwhile, is rated at 272 miles of driving range. The large 94.0 kilowatt-hour battery pack can be charged at up to 200 kilowatts on a DC fast-charging connection, and Polestar estimates it can charge from 10 to 80% in 30 minutes if you're lucky enough to find a charging station that's working to its maximum potential.
Fuel economy, and real-world MPGE. The Polestar 4's efficiency hinges on its trim. The entry-level single-motor model trumps the dual-motor model in both range and economy with an EPA-estimated 90 MPGE combined rating. In exchange for all-wheel drive and 536 horsepower, the dual motor is only rated for 83 MPGE combined. When we get a chance, we'll take the Polestar 4 on our 75-mile-per-hour highway fuel economy route and update the story with its test results. For more information about the Polestar 4's fuel economy, visit the EPA's website.
Interior, comfort, and cargo. Forgoing the rear window allowed Polestar's designers to push the rear seats back further in the cabin, and rear seat legroom is generous as a result. The Polestar 4 also manages to provide decent headroom in the back, despite the SUV's more steeply raked roofline. The interior styling is pleasant and minimalist and can be lined in your choice of vinyl, Napa leather, or a knit textile made from recycled plastic. The digital rearview mirror works well and projects an image from a rear-facing camera on the SUV's roof. Physical exterior mirrors remain, and while we were skeptical at first, we're pleased to report that the lack of the rear glass doesn't cause a major blind spot.
Infotainment and connectivity. All models come with a large 15.4-inch infotainment display with Polestar's latest Google-based interface. The system features Google Assistant and Google Maps and offers access to Google Play. Never fear, Apple users, CarPlay is included as standard. Also standard is a 10.2-inch digital gauge display which shows the driver basics like speed and battery range, but that info can also be projected onto a 14.7-inch head-up display.
Safety and driver assistance features.
Every Polestar 4 comes with a suite of driver assistance features as standard, but if you want the company's hands-free driving tech, called Pilot Assist, you'll have to pay extra. For more information about the Polestar 4's crash test results, visit the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and Insurance Institute for Highway Safety websites. Key safety features include standard automated emergency braking with pedestrian detection, standard lane departure warning with lane keeping assist, available adaptive cruise control with hands-free driving mode.
Warranty and maintenance coverage. Polestar's limited warranty sticks to the industry standard, on par with that of Tesla. The company also provides competitive coverage for the 4's electrical components. Surprisingly, Polestar doesn't offer the same 3-year complimentary maintenance program as Volvo, its parent company. Limited warranty covers 4 years or 50,000 miles. Electrical components are covered for 8 years or 100,000 miles. No complimentary scheduled maintenance.